Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Waste Talk series. In this series, we will talk about how to reduce waste, how to transform waste into something useful, and how to dispose of waste when we actually throw it away. So, we'll talk about anything and everything waste and much more. Today, with me, I have Lucy. Lucy loves to reuse and repurpose items in her efforts to reduce waste. Welcome, Lucy. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great, Fartika. I'm so excited to talk about this with you. This is so great because, yeah, like I love talking about waste reduction. I love talking about everything MCR related. For everyone watching, Fartika is our star master composter
Oh, thank
recycler
you.
in Edmonton. Yeah, she's like everywhere, and it's so incredible what you do, Fartika.
Thank you. You made my day before starting the talk, actually. So, yeah. Let's dive right into this, into our topic of reuse and repurpose. So, you mentioned earlier that you like doing this. So, tell me briefly what all you do in this area.
Yeah, for sure. So reusing and repurposing, I think, is so important for waste reduction. Basically, my key principle is to try to use up everything that I have at home, and I try to keep stuff in the home as long as possible because that way I know that it's guaranteed to not be in the landfill. Yeah, once it leaves your home, it's kind of out of your control. So yeah,
Yes.
I think that that's really important
Tell me
to.
a few things where you try to reuse waste, like in your kitchen or living room, your closet.
Yeah, for sure. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget this. So yeah, and things that I really like to reuse. I loved reusing takeout containers because as someone who really likes to host people at her house and sometimes doesn't always have the time to cook for everybody, we inevitably have to order takeout and then end up with all of these plastic takeout containers. And they're really awesome for if you just wash them and then keep them around either in your home or in your car. They're really great for just if you're going to the restaurant, grab a takeout container from your car, take your leftovers home. Then you don't have to ask for a new one. Or if friends are over, there's extra leftover food, then you can pack the food for everybody and get them to take it home. You don't have to worry about bringing back the container, and we don't have to worry about food waste because everyone gets to take a little bit home and everybody eats it. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, sometimes we end up ordering food. We love all that ordered food, right, from outside, and then we end up these containers. So you mentioned that you keep these in your car and then take out to take next batch as well. How do you manage that? Like, are there specific restaurants that they will give you in your own container, or you can go to anyone and can ask, please put the food in my own container?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'm more talking about like if you're just going to eat out and sometimes you have leftovers from eating out that you want to pack up, then usually I'll either walk into the restaurant already with my ready to take out container, and then that way I just pack my own food into the takeout container. Or if I forget to bring it in and I'm eating with someone, then I'll just be able to tell them, oh, I'll be right back, run to my car, grab the container, and then we pack the food in. But I haven't tried asking the kitchen to directly pack the food into the containers,
Okay.
but it's worthwhile asking, I guess.
Yeah, so you don't take your own container, you just ask them, and whatever they pack for you, you pour into yours. I'm just trying to understand the whole process because I never got to do this. Other
Yeah.
day when I went to Tim Hortons, I was not sure do they will they pour coffee in my own cup. I had my own cup, and I
Mm-hmm.
was hesitating to ask. Sometimes, when you ask in your own container, they will do, they will put their own cup and then they pour in your cup and then will throw away their own cup. So the whole purpose is defeated. So I asked beforehand, how would you do that? So the lady said, we have a specific cup. We will put in that, and I was fine with that. So that way we save one cup. So how does this whole process work? Can you please explain once again?
Yeah, for sure. So I basically just bring my own plastic container into the restaurant. We sit
Mhm.
down, we have our meal, and then whatever food I have left over,
Okay,
I just
leftover
pack
food.
directly into my plastic container. And then you don't have to wait for the staff to come and like grab you another one. It saves time, it saves another container. It's just easy.
That's a good one. You are bold. Sometimes I think I will do that and I keep my containers in my purse as well. But I hesitate to take out. They will think that, oh my God, she's bringing her own container to pack her food. So now I know, and next time when I go there, I will also do that. That's a wonderful
Oh,
tip.
there's nothing to be embarrassed about with this, like,
Exactly.
because it's a container either way, and you're the only one that's taking it home, unless you're like packing buffet food, which case that's not really
And
ethical, but
it's your leftover food. It's your own food.
exactly.
So, and that's what you're doing. That is
Exactly. And you're saving the restaurant money by not asking for one of their
yes,
containers. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
right. Yeah. So, how often do you? I mean, this is one thing. So, how often do you order food in general?
We do like to host a Dungeons and Dragons game at our place every week. So usually we'll order food in for those occasions. And so yeah, we end up with lots of takeout containers and just distribute it to our friends and ask them to take food home.
So, plastic containers, you mean, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You get the plastic containers. Yeah. So sometimes we get the paper containers as well, and I can compost in my own backyard those ones,
Mhm,
so that works for me. Yeah. We order very less food, because we love to cook.
mhm.
My husband loves to cook more than me. He cooks better butter chicken than I cook. So, but it's still, we have a family of five. So sometimes kids say, yeah, we want to order from outside, and we end up with containers as well. So I do the same. I wash it and I keep it for when I have some party or something. I can give away to my friends. So I also use it that way. But whenever I have a lot of them, sometimes you kind of start piling up, and you just cannot have those. In that case, I would lightly rinse it still with soap and put in my recycle. I just don't put it as is in recycle because it has a lot of grease, so that way.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, but I will never put those containers in my trash. That's never happened.
Yes, no, that they do not go in the trash. But
Correct.
I what I hear is like some places, like after school programs, that like to feed like feed the kids that attend them. I think some of them are always looking for extra takeout containers to pack food for the kids. I haven't personally needed to donate any containers to kids yet because I generally distribute it to my friends, but I hear that's a good place to see if anyone needs a takeout
Yeah.
container.
So you mean school program? I have never heard about that. I mean, I don't know if they will use the used up container like from someone else. So yeah, I just use it on my own or recycle.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was just thinking maybe if restaurants start giving food in our own container for takeout, like for example, I go buy Thai Thai food or chicken, sorry, like Chinese food that we love all the time. So if I take my own container, would they give it in that container?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never tried to ask because I wasn't sure if they would say no because of like portion issues or if like they've got their own sanitary standards. So, but I don't think it hurts to ask.
Yeah, for sanitary, I mean, that Tim Horton lady took my cup, so I
Yeah,
was fine with that.
exactly.
I think other restaurants might also be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah, so we are talking a lot of food. I'm already hungry.
Yeah, I had a little snack before we recorded this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about something else. You also do some craft work from fabrics or something for the purpose of repurpose.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I guess these are things that I like to repurpose. So I first started when I had this big bed sheet that basically got holes in it, and I could no longer repair it. So then I felt really bad for just letting this whole sheet of fabric go to waste, right? And so I thought, okay, what else can I use it for? And so the first thing that I made with it was this
It's
pillow
awesome.
cushion.
So you did embroidery as well, or it was already
Um,
embroidered?
So basically, I use some other fabric scraps
Okay.
to make this, and then and then I sewed it onto the sheet, and then I hand sewed because I don't actually know how to use a sewing machine. So it's one of my goals this year is to learn actually how to use a sewing machine. It'll make these projects a lot easier. And then the other thing that I made that I use all the time is one of these.
What is
So
that?
this is a reusable, I guess, warmer because I put some rice, some dried like beans, lentils,
Okay.
chickpeas in here, and I
Okay.
just microwave this for about 2 minutes, and
Okay.
it's warm and it stays warm for about like half an hour to 45 minutes. My feet get cold all the time. This is great for bedtime where I just want to warm up my feet, so I just pop it in the microwave and then I stick it on my feet, and then I'm warm enough to go to sleep.
So dry beans, you mean, inside it and just
Yeah,
microwave. Wow,
yeah,
what means?
yeah,
I never heard this.
yeah.
How many
So
do you have? Just one or how many?
uh, I've made two. One of them is at my parents', so that my grandma can use it. But yeah, this is probably the thing that I reuse the most in the wintertime. Yeah,
And how
but
long
you
does
get
it stay warm?
it stays warm for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
And is
Yeah.
there a recipe of different beans or I can put anything?
I just toss anything in. It's more of a field sort of thing. So I like
Okay,
it when there's
soft
like
one.
different sized legumes in there. So there's some rice, there's some like red beans, and then there's some like chickpeas in here. You
Mhm.
could toss whatever you have in the
Yeah.
pantry.
I was thinking if I put lot of just chickpeas, it will be, it will not be that comfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why the other smaller legumes are good for the texture.
I love that.
But if you're gonna make this, make sure everything is 100% cotton that you're using, or else sometimes the synthetic fabrics will burn
You
in
have a
the
hole at
microwave.
the end. Do you have two
Oh yeah,
bags?
so there I made a cover for it. So then
There's a
you
cover
can
and
wash it. You can
okay,
wash it. You can remove the cover and wash it.
gosh, okay, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So that inside is intact.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got it. Well, thank you for sharing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so, I also made some wax strips from the bed sheet. Sometimes I like to use this, and,
Yeah.
you know, and I made these couple of years. Me and my daughter share these, and these are going to last forever,
That's a
right?
great idea.
And that way I save disposable wax strips.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Don't have to do anything. Mhm.
Such a great idea. I never would have thought of that.
Okay, what else? Tell me more examples if you have any other than
Yeah, this is a weird one. Toilet paper rolls.
okay.
I like to use as a cat treat dispenser. So basically you fold in the sides like this, and then you put in the treats in here, and then you fold in the top again. And it keeps her occupied. She'll swat it around, she'll bite at it, she'll try to get the treats out,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it keeps her occupied enough that that it gives her a little bit of stimulation if we don't have time to throw her treats that day to feed her. And then after she completely destroys this, and it can no longer use as a treat dispenser, I actually put 100% cotton dryer lint in here, and then it makes a really good fire starter.
Two ways. We have already used one way as a toilet paper roll, and
Yeah,
then I was wondering, would this treat dispenser work for dogs as well? I guess so.
I don't know. Yeah, because I've never had a dog before. It depends on how gentle the dog is. Because I can see this working for a gentle dog that's willing to kind of take their time, but maybe not so much for a dog that's just willing to eat the toilet paper tube.
I know. I mean, we have a Pomeranian. There is no harm in trying it out, maybe.
Yeah.
Why not?
I've got this is pretty straightforward. This is a wool dryer ball. I'm sure a lot of people are using these anyway, but this is a really great substitute for dryer sheets because these are
Okay.
100% reusable. They're not scented, so you don't have to deal with the strong scent of the dryer sheets. And they help your clothes dry and be steady. I did order from a Canadian brand, True Earth, where I get my laundry strips, but there's after you get like a few of these, there's no need to ever get a dryer sheet.
How many you throw in one time? in the.
I only use two, but they come in packs of four.
I use the, I don't use anything in the dryer.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, yeah, and again, if you don't need to use anything, that's probably the better substitute is just to not use anything at all. I've got one more thing. So I should have done this with the takeout containers, but these are kind of the takeout containers for where you get soup. These are really really great for organizing meat in the freezer.
Okay,
Um, yeah, because so what I'll do is after I get groceries, I'll portion my meat into these containers and I'll store them in the freezer because they're see through so you
okay,
can see what's in it. And for me, generally one container is a perfect portion size for the meat that I'm going to use. Obviously, for the people who actually eat meat, but yeah,
see
and
through makes
they're
it good, because I use those yogurt containers to freeze items, but then I forgot I have to label them every time,
yeah
everything inside. So yeah, that's a good one as well. Yeah,
yeah
see through works better. Yeah, awesome.
yeah. Yeah, Vartika, I can talk to you for days about things to reuse and repurpose. This is so great.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, most of the items we have at home can be reused for something else. For example, I also use one of my towel, very old towel. I used it couple of years, and because I got it from India, from my home, I did not want to throw it. I thought,
Mhm.
how can I use anything out of it? So I made a plant pot from that. So I took a square towel and then I made a cement batter, and I poured the towel into that, the cement mix, wet cement mix, and put on a mold, and it became a beautiful plant pot, you know.
Wow, that's so smart. I would have thought of that. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so yeah, that is, I love it. I painted it blue, so I love it. And then whenever I look at it, it reminds me of my dad, my family as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I really like the sentimental things that we find a new life for and a new purpose for. Um, I love getting things from my family members, my friends and family members. I think we were talking about this a little bit that I love thrifting from friends and family.
Yeah,
So whenever they have things that they want to donate or get rid of, I say, no, let me take a look at it first because I usually find one or two items that I take home and I use all the time. So everything I'm wearing basically right now is thrifted from friends and family.
yeah, that's
These
awesome.
earrings are from my partner's grandmother when she was decluttering. The shirts from my best friend. The pants I'm wearing are from my grandma and mom. So, there's no shame in this. Honestly, go thrifting through other people's donate piles because they're going to leave the home anyway. And I know that thrift stores really try their best to sell everything, but at the end of the day, a large portion does end up having to be either going to textile recycling or just straight to the landfill. So if we can guarantee that the stuff directly exchanges hands, that's already way better, right? And I feel better that I'm able to give things a second life.
That's right. And you gave it a term, thrifting from a bag. And I didn't know what you mean, like thrifting from a bag. So you got a bag from your family and then you just look into this, what's inside, and
Yeah,
you find out.
yeah, it's their donation bag. It's stuff
Yeah.
that they were going to get rid of anyway. And I say, no, don't leave, don't donate it yet. Let me see what I can use from it.
Yeah, I do that too. My daughter discards some of the stuff sometime. Yeah, some of the sweaters or hoodies, she wouldn't mind, but I don't put it in a bag, of course. First, it comes to my room, and then I look into that, and then I just take a lot of things from there, and then rest of the stuff for them I donate.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly. Yeah, I think my mom does the same for me too. So it's like uh, almost like a circular economy.
Yeah. And my daughter also loves thrifting. She says we get better choices there, and branded items and all that. Why not to go there? I mean, it's okay.
100%. Yeah, and the sad reality is that with fashion nowadays, everything is just decreasing in quality. They're not made to last anymore. So even if you're able to thrift something from maybe 7, 10 years ago, it's way better quality. Even if it's not brand name, even just the average brand stuff, way better quality from even 7 to 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we can get good quality clothes from thrift stores as well. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What I do is, sometimes we get bored from our old clothes, whatever we keep wearing in that. So whenever I go to India, I will take it for my sisters and will
Yeah.
bring their clothes. So that way we also exchange every year or in 2 years if I visit India. We will exchange, and that way also we show some love to our sisters. And exchange
Yeah.
items, right?
Yeah, I love that. I'll kind of just go quickly through my list of things that I like to reuse or repurpose. We keep actually plastic cutlery. Like sometimes it's inevitable that places give you plastic cutlery even if you don't ask for utensils. If it's brand new and unused, I'll keep it and I'll give it away on my Buy Nothing group on Facebook. Or if we end up using it, then actually I'll keep it and I'll use it to scoop up my cat food when I'm feeding the cat. So even though it's quote unquote disposable, if you can wash it and reuse it, why not just reuse it?
Yeah, I mean, in first place, don't take it, but you got it, so you have to use it in a better way rather than just using it and throwing it away. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I also like to reuse cardboard boxes for helping organize things like the pantry or the closet. It doesn't have to be aesthetic to be functional.
Yeah, exactly. You just have a cardboard box. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then they act as like little drawers where you can just kind of pull it out and then and it keeps things grouped together so that it doesn't feel like it's so messy.
Yeah, I do. I use these shoe boxes for that purpose.
Yeah.
I heard from Marie Kondo's list. She advises us to use the shoe boxes as an organizer, and I have a couple of them in my drawers, and it really organizes my drawers very well
Yeah,
without buying
absolutely.
anything from IKEA or anywhere. And once it's worn out, just put it in recycle and use another one because you don't have to buy it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I kind of want to talk about maybe the kind of hierarchy that I go through in my mind whenever I have an item that I guess I uh, maybe I'm thinking of getting rid of. So the questions that I ask myself, like first, number one, can I reuse this? If it's a thing like plastic cutlery that I can just rewash and then reuse, then I'm just going to keep reusing it. Number two is if I can't reuse this, can I repurpose it and use it for something else? If the answer is still no, then I ask, okay, can someone I know use this? So, like, are my friends and family looking for something like this, or can I just mend it, or can they just mend it, or do something so that they can give it a second life. If that's still no, then I ask, okay, can someone I don't know use this? And that's where the Buy Nothing Facebook group comes in. Like I love the Buy Nothing group. You can give away all sorts of things on there. People are giving away all sorts of incredible things on there, and it creates a nice, like, tight knit community within your vicinity. And then if the answer is still, okay, no, and I actually have to dispose of it, then I ask, okay, what's the best way of disposing of it, right? And then that's where we consult the Wastewise app and try our best not to have anything go to landfill.
So you are really on top of it. I mean, if to recap, you want to use it yourself. You can't use it as is, then you want to mend it and then use it. And if you can't even do that, then you find someone who can use it, right? Or who can
Yeah.
change it and use it. And if you're in your knowns, acquaintances, nobody you have, then you try to go to buy and sell groups. You said on Facebook,
It's called the Buy Nothing group.
buy nothing group.
So yeah, I think most neighborhoods have a Buy Nothing group. They actually need you to be residing in that neighborhood to be a part of this Buy Nothing group. But yeah, if you're a user of Facebook, this is something that you can go on and apply to be a member of. So basically, they just need verification that you actually live in that
Okay.
neighborhood, and then yeah, people can post stuff that they're looking for, and people can also post stuff that they're trying to get rid of. But the idea is that no money exchanges. It's just all for free.
Also, if you need something, you can get from there, or
Yeah,
segregated waste to at least give away. Yeah, awesome.
for sure.
You are really big on this, on reusing all everything that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like honestly, it gives me a sense of purpose as well. Every time that I find a really fun use for something that was going to end up in the landfill, it gives me a big sense of accomplishment.
And you also talked about a very good point. When you exactly have to dispose it off, you have to find the best way to dispose it off, not just put in the trash. For example, we were talking about takeout containers. So once you are done with it, you can't do anything. Don't put it in trash. At least try to kind of clean it and put it recycle, right, wherever it can go before trash, right? So
Oh,
that
for
way,
sure.
there is nothing in the trash. At least your trash is minimum. You are big on it. You have been doing it for a long time. And if, like, for our viewers, maybe sometimes to start something new, they might find it harder. You have any tips how they can start with this kind of thing, reusing, repurpose?
For sure. I think that maybe one word of advice is just to be patient, and not have an all or nothing sort of mentality. We don't have to be perfect about this. We just have to try. I think in this world, we're really used to like instant gratification nowadays, right? And it can be so much easier to just order something off of the internet and then have it arrive at your doorstep the next day. But if we could just breathe, take a pause, say, okay, do I really need this? And if I do, do I actually have this already? Do I really need to get something new, or can I really take my time with this, right? Because most of the time we don't actually need it right away. It's just something that we want, and it's not going to destroy our lives if we just take a
I
breath
have
and
heard
take a
about
little
this
bit of
thing as
time.
well. Yeah, so that's why these online sites are 24 hours open. At the when
Yeah,
we are sleeping at the night, and then we think of something I need it, you can just order it right there. So,
yeah.
right. So think twice, take some time. Maybe I will order it tomorrow, and then by that time it's out of your mind. You might not even need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and it's again just being a little bit patient, and then flexing that creativity muscle inside your brain of like, how can I make something out of this piece of trash? It's so gratifying. It's so satisfying.
Right. Thanks, Lucy. We talked about lot of things here about takeout containers, crafting like throw pillows, and I really love that microwave warmer thing. I will definitely make right after this because why to buy a new heat pad from somewhere, electric one? It doesn't use much energy as well, right? So a lot of tips I have got from you, new tips, and I'm excited to use all of them in my own life. Thank you.
Thank you for having these conversations, Martika.